What's up, Bulls Nation, and welcome into CHGO Bulls pregame, presented by Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. What's going on, everybody? I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Day, bam! BWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb.
Bulls TV.
Our pal and producer, Joyce Pathis, on the controls.
KC.
He is at Joyce Pathis. Bulls, Jazz. On deck tonight, Game 2, West Coast. I mean, coming off a big win.
Yeah.
Big win. 20-plus point comeback against the Sacramento Kings
22.
on Monday. And, I mean, depending on the way you look at it, the Bulls have a very winnable game staring them in the face tonight. Yeah. Maybe even a trap game, if you can call a West Coast road trip game a trap game, because this Jazz team is circling in the drain and pretty shorthanded.
Yeah. They're looking to go down. They don't want to go up.
5 games back of the 10th seed in the West play-in spot right now. We'll talk about this matchup tonight. Also wanted to take a look at Coby White and coming off of a career-high 37. Mm-hmm. He's been getting a little bit more national recognition recently. Well-deserved. Good for him. Happy for him. Figured we could talk a little bit about his case for Most Improved Player Award because his name has been thrown around and added into that conversation in a lot of places. Quick reminder also, if you haven't gotten your new merch yet from the Chicago collection that was just released on our 2nd anniversary on Monday in the CHGO merch locker, go pick out your favorite. Maybe pick out a few favorites from that new collection of merch. CHGOlocker.com. Grab it, check it out, order it. I've already ordered a bunch. Did you see Brax's shopping cart that he took a screenshot of the other day?
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at something you said. You're insane, and I love you so.
All right. Did you see the reply that I had to that infantile Jazz fan?
I did.
Hey, Jazz History account or whatever you call yourself on Twitter.
Oh man,
they were so proud they thought they cooked me, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't seen your reply."
Oh man,
hold on.
Oh man, Peck is freaking hilarious. But yeah, Braggs. Yeah, follow Matt Peck, by the way. Yeah, I did see that screenshot Bragg sent us. He basically spent his kids' tuition money.
Yes, and
all of it on CHGO gear, which, you know, as someone who has no kids, I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
But you know, he can get a discount. I'm sure we'll have another sale coming up. Shout out to the sale that we just had. That's how I got this
Indeed.
PHNX hat.
Also,
shout out to them.
Sign up to become a diehard, and then that way you get 20% off every single time you shop at that CHGO locker.
Always a discount.
Boom, boom.
We always have a discount, y'all. We are always giving to y'all because we want y'all to look fly as Joey does when he's sitting there on the production. We just want y'all to be cool.
Rocking the OG CHGO script shirt.
How many CHGO shirts do you have, Joe?
Me? Yeah, I don't know why I said that. No, not you. Joe,
right. I meant Joe.
A lot.
The
reason I said me is because I don't do I strike you as having like a ton?
I just was asking. I didn't know.
Yeah, I've got a good amount. Thing is, I think I really only have this one for the Bulls. And I think I got Sub-Zero on the way, but
okay. Dude, I'm rocking King in the Fourth right now. I felt like I had to after that game on Monday.
Yeah, he did.
DeMar DeRozan outscored the Kings by himself.
Paying homage.
He did. He did earn it.
Yeah, there's some really cool ones in the collection though.
Yeah, that Chicago collection one is really cool, man. Yeah, really we got some good responses from that. So really cool stuff. Pizza, yes.
Goat asked me if I was wearing this because we had to wear CHGO gear or something, and I was like, no, just like this shirt a lot.
Yeah. Sorry. I feel like I see you wear that shirt at least once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
If not more frequently.
Yeah.
I like to wear it when we do work to show the support for us.
That's true.
Even though no one can see it.
It's cool while he's working. You can do the same thing, y'all.
Shout out to our guy Adam in the comments. He said, hey, guys, tuned in from the UK while on the graveyard shift. Don't tell my employers. We won't. I don't think we know them. If we did know them, we wouldn't tell them.
Give me their number. We'll have them at the game too. Watch the game with us.
No rats here.
That's right.
Secretly listen to your sports podcast while working as often as you like.
Yes.
Because before I worked in sports, I did the same thing.
All of the time.
All right, guys. So Coby, career high 37, helped propel the Bulls to that comeback win in Sacramento Monday night. He is, this season, making a legitimate case for most improved player.
Yeah.
He is averaging career highs this season in points per game, assists per game, overall field goal percentage. He, even after his little mini slump, is still averaging a career high behind the three-point line. Mm-hmm. It's dipped beneath 40%. He could still get it back above 40 in the remaining games for the season, but it's still a career high, as is his three-point attempts. So his three-point volume is a career high in addition to his efficiency on threes being a career high. The points per game scoring up from 9.7 last season, which was a dip,
Hands up on his hip.
significantly dipped down from his, it's usually in that like 11, 12 points per game range his first few seasons. Mm-hmm. But it makes his leap this season look all the more impressive because he's going from 9.7 per game last season to 19.6 after Monday's win, basically doubling his points per game scoring from last season. Then you think on top of that, the amount of minutes he has played. Leading the league in total minutes. Wow. He is 7th in the NBA in minutes per game at 36.7. Of course, his teammate DeMar currently leading that category. Old man DeMar leads the NBA in minutes per game right now, which is hilarious. Do we still have tips? And then this one, shout out to our friend Jason Pat over there who does cash considerations with Ricky O. He had this stat the other day after their win against the Kings. Coby leads the NBA in plus-minus in clutch minutes across all clutch games this season with 87. Wow. Coby is a plus 87 in clutch minutes this season, 12 points higher plus-minus than second place in that category, which is Derek White over there in Boston. I mean, I think, Will, it's fair to say the Bulls have played a zillion clutch games, so Coby leading the league in a category like plus-minus in clutch minutes, like, they go in line with one another because the Bulls keep getting themselves into these crazy clutch games. Mm-hmm. But when you think about all of the improvements he's made statistically in this category and that category, and that he is also playing well and giving the Bulls a boost in all of these clutch games to help their overall team clutch rating and their team clutch record, I think it's a significant addition to his resume for an award like this.
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you look at what the most improved player award is supposed to be about, I think Coby's season speaks to that more than anybody else. Like Jalen Williams, Thunder have an incredible season. He's a second-year player. He's supposed to get better. Tyrese Maxey, I think, has gotten a lot better. He stepped into a bigger role, but they've kind of fallen out. Now they're kind of in the same position standings-wise as the Bulls, and he's kind of shown that, when he's the number one option, that hasn't really necessarily produced a ton of wins. So I think Coby's right there. I know there are other guys, Şengün, Jalen Johnson, all very deserving. But in terms of stepping from six-man kind of scorer type who wasn't really getting minutes in key moments to being the player that has been one of the most productive in clutch games, driving offense throughout the course of games, 10-plus points increase on scoring per game from last year to this year, in his fifth season, I just think that's what it's about. It's about guys who make a huge leap in kind of not unorthodox, but just it's a little bit rare to do that in your fifth season. I think the time that he's doing it's like Lowry when he went to the Jazz and he really exploded. It's like those mid-career kind of shifts that you just don't really see very often. And there are guys I think Ja Morant kind of reset what the MIP is supposed to mean, yes, going from star to superstar. Mm-hmm. But Coby from really role player, seventh man to really solid starter, near all-star, can seriously trend that way in one season in his fifth year. It's just really, really impressive.
Back in January when I started saying Coby was most improved player, I said that here on the show, and Will at that correctly stated, he said it's Tyrese Maxey. And I couldn't argue it early at the time. You can argue it now. I can definitely get into that argument for the reasons Will just stated. because now with Maxey, as like he just said, with that number one option, you've seen them definitely decline where they've fallen out of the top 6. And they're in the play-in right now. But with Coby White ascension and becoming basically either, however you want to look at it, he's 1A or 1B. But he's definitely led to a lot of why the Bulls are winning these games, especially in the clutch, like as you stated, leading in clutch minutes like that. So Coby White is what this award is supposed to be about. A young man who comes in, who a lot of people didn't really think was going to be bigger than what he was. Shout out Tim Legler, who said pretty much the same thing on the All-NBA podcast, and shout out Adam as well, who was like, everybody kind of had him penciled in as the 6th man. A lot of people had it in pen. Like, this is the 6th man, this is it, he's done. And for him to say, no, forget that, I am a starter in this league, and for him to put in that work, and then you see the benefits and you see what has come from all that work, just how elite of a level he is ascending to, it's just fun to watch. He is exactly what this award is supposed to be about, and that's why I think he should win it.
Cameron in the comments saying it'll be an absolute shame if Coby doesn't get MIP. It's his to lose. Andrew asking out of curiosity who else is in the running. Will, you mentioned a few of those names. I know Kuminga is also on that list of players.
Really good.
Şengün, yes. Jalen Williams, yes. Maxey, as far as Cameron's comment about it being Coby's to lose, I think it's still Maxey's to lose right now.
Yeah, I think he's the heavy favorite.
The Sixers have fallen in the standings without Joel Embiid, their MVP. And as you pointed out, Dave, are in a record tie with Miami right now. And I'm guessing because of tiebreaker, Miami's currently slotted in 6th, Philly in 7th. That's a pretty big tumble for Philly. And it's not like you can blame Maxey or take away Maxey's deservingness for this award because the Sixers as a team have struggled while missing their MVP player.
Correct.
So I don't think it's Coby's to lose. I think if you kind of flip that phrasing and say there could be an avenue here in the last 20 games where Coby steals it from Maxey. If Coby, after a little lull, finishes strong and continues to improve and solidify these numbers, showing his career jumps in all of these statistical categories, continues playing big in more Bulls clutch games that we know are coming, because that's the only kind of game the Bulls play, and performs well in fourth quarters and the like, I think Coby can narrow the gap of where he is trailing Maxey right now, because I looked at a bunch of different sports books earlier today because I was curious. Basically, every single sports book I looked at had Maxey as the odds-on favorite and Coby White at 2. But those odds that I saw in different sports books ranged anywhere from Coby being in second place behind Maxey at like plus 250 even, plus 300. And then some sports books had him with the second best odds, but they were all the way up at like plus 750 or plus 800. So I think right now the gap between him and Maxey is still pretty wide. But even saying Coby is the clear-cut runner-up right now in that group of players is pretty damn impressive.
Like just looking at one, as you just stated, they have Maxey at minus 550, Coby at plus 700. So there's a gap there. But as you just stated, the one below, which is Şengün, is plus 1,800. So that's it. It's 1 and it's 2. And that's it. That's what it's going to be. So it's interesting to see what will happen, in these next 20 so odd games left. How it goes, but it's between those two guys, and I still think it's going to be Tyrese Maxey, but I think it should be Coby White. Like to put in an extra 10 points a game, to lead the league in the minutes, to be a guy that you look to in the fourth quarter in the clutch, to be the 3-point shooter that he is, to become basically the leader of this team, and in your 5th year, like in your one of your first full years starting, you know what I mean, as the guard for this team. For me, it's what the award is about. You know what I mean? And if you're going to reward Tyrese Maxey for the winning, then you have to finish the season. You got to finish your food, because it started off nice, but now with just him running it, it doesn't look as appealing anymore. So I'm interested to see in these next 20 games who is going to rise and who's going to fall on that between those two guys.
Andrew McKay in the comments pointing out Maxey has the advantage of being on more nationally televised games. That is true.
Sure.
He's also like putting up much bigger numbers.
Right.
Like, I don't think the improvement statistically has been quite the same because he was already at 20 a game last year.
Right.
Nothing,
But
yeah.
I mean, 26.6.3 assists and a steal on 45, 38, and 87 splits. I mean, he's putting up better numbers than Coby.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's my thing, though. But like Tyrese Maxey was still looked at as Tyrese Maxey. Even last year when Embiid was winning that MVP, it was like, no, Tyrese Maxey is cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Coby White, it was kind of out of the blue.
And he stepped from when they traded Harden, he kind of stepped into that number 2 role. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying he hasn't improved his role, but I'm just saying he was already very good. Whereas Coby like kind of came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
Even just look at the contract that he signed. Like that is not the contract of a starting player,
Right.
Let alone a near all-star.
And Coby might not have the eyes of the national media who get the votes for these season awards the way that Maxey does with all the games that the Sixers play on primetime television, and the Bulls only have had a handful all season. Mm-hmm. Even with that being the case, Coby is finally starting to garner some attention from those national NBA media people, from the people who get votes. You mentioned that our guys Adam Mares and Tim Legler were talking about it on the ALLCITY NBA pod just the other day, and Legler was talking about Coby's growth this season and the praise that he has earned. I was listening to today's Fresh Hoop Collective on the way into the office
Shout out.
today, and Windhorst, McMahon, and Bontemps were talking about Coby White. And it wasn't like the Bulls was like a tangent conversation because they were talking about how the Kings had just dropped that game where they blew a 20-point lead to the Bulls the other night. Mm-hmm. And then they spent a few minutes on a tangent talking about the Bulls, and they brought up out of nowhere Coby White deserving to be in the conversation for most improved player.
Yeah, man.
That's 3 of the biggest talking heads in NBA national media on their podcast talking Coby White being in the running for this award.
Yeah,
even if he doesn't win it, the attention is finally coming.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore. And I think a lot of that also is because of the way they won that game also against Sacramento. That definitely put some people's eyes on them watching that and having your career high in that game as well. Like, yeah, you're going to look. Winning's good. As I tell you all the time. But, yeah, man, hopefully it's more to come for him. Hopefully it's more to come. Tyrese Maxey is injured, has a concussion. He's been listed out. So we'll see how long he'll be out with that. But wish him a speedy recovery, though, for sure.
Coby's also on pace to play every game this year. So that would be another
Speaking of which,
in his cap. But
our friend Fish in the comments said he just wants Coby to finish the season healthy with this workload he's playing.
Sure. Absolutely, man. We want them both, like him and Io. I want everybody healthy. I'm tired of injuries. Goodness gracious.
I did just want to add, though, that like all this stuff, I think you hit it on the head, Dave. All this stuff starts to become real if the Bulls are winning games. If you want to be taken seriously as a team, if you want to be taken seriously as players up for awards, you have to impact winning. In order to impact winning, your team has to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bulls Talk was just talking about Caruso going to the all-defensive team. Obviously, he was there last year, and I think that's going to be definitely on the table again. DeMar, maybe a clutch player of the year, the way he's really just continuing to dominate in those moments. But none of this stuff matters if the Bulls aren't winning games and proving that they need to be taken seriously. Not leaving it up for Windhorst and Bontemps to decide if they're worth conversation. They have to earn that.
Right.
Earn their place in that discussion.
I agree. We got to take a quick break. Shout out a couple sponsors. We'll come back, take a look at tonight's game. Speaking of our most improved player nominee, get yourself that Sub-Zero tee available in our merch locker, along with all of the new drops from the Chicago collection. Grab yourself the Sub-Zero. Shout out to our boy Clum, who said, "Now I got my CHGO shirt for Coby. There's no more doubt he is the MIP." If that were the criteria, then yeah, let's sell some shirts.
Yeah.
Hit that like button while we're sharing these words from our sponsors. And also hit the subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, shout out to y'all who are subscribed. We did cross that 50K threshold in the wee hours of Monday night.
Hours.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
50K.
Shout out, man.
Speaking of those most improved player award odds, pregame tonight brought to you by our friends at Circa, who offer the tight money line splits and a low hold model, always striving to have those starting odds for game spreads, for point total over-unders, player props, whatever it is, at minus 110, rather than a lot of other sports bettors who push that to minus 115 or minus 120 for no good reason. just stealing your value and keeping it in their pockets. Not at Circa. They also keep as little money as possible on those large market bets like NBA futures, NBA season awards. If you want to put some good value on Coby White stealing the most improved player award from Tyrese Maxey in this final stretch of 20 games, it's not impossible. And you can get some really good odds right now. As Dave was pointing out at a few different sports books, check it out at Circa. I'm guessing you will find wonderful odds on that because that's the best place to make those kind of large market bets. They also have unparalleled customer service, the real deal, real people behind the Circa Sports app who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other sportsbooks who use the dreaded chatbots. All aspects of that Circa app are being run by the same team who run their main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Download that Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Be on the lookout for Circa's events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Joey, what time is it?
Game time.
Oh, right as he put a bite of candy in his mouth? That's just mean.
Still got it.
He is prepared. He still caught it, didn't he? The boy is prepared, man. You gotta catch a wrench. You catch a wrench, you catch a ball. All right? He is prepared. Tough.
Necessary.
Joey Tough over here. I like it. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events nearest you with killer last-minute deals. All-in prices, views from receipt, and the best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's not the place. No, sirree. It is the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, hockey, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. And with its own deals, you pick the section and Game Time does the selecting for an average savings of, drum roll it back, 18%. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price, period. Take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time, y'all. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed because we're going to go golly. What's happening? Game Time. I know why you were laughing. You were thinking of the song, weren't you?
What song?
You weren't thinking of the song? The Game Time song?
I wasn't, but now I am. You mean the completely made up Game Time song?
Terms apply.
Terms apply. Terms apply. I did continue laughing my ass off about that when I got home that night.
I got it.
Late night post games, man.
Oh, shout out to my brother who bought one of those Coby White hoodies. He is
Sub-Zero hoodies.
Yes.
Not legally allowed to call them Coby White hoodies.
Shout out, he bought that Sub-Zero hoodie. It sounds better. But he bought one of those, man, and he has worn it pretty much every day since. And he loves it. Loves it so
Comfy,
much, man.
Cozy.
Oh,
and
he talks about
a
it all the
wonderful
time.
fashion statement.
Yeah, it is. Pretty fly, man. So shout out.
He's in the comments just brought up Glizzy Gladiators. That was another curveball.
That was a classic.
I stand firm on my statement that I did not know what that was.
You shouldn't read
I was
it.
reading ad copy for the first time. Just thought it was a cool young person phrase that I was not yet familiar with.
What a moment.
Also, shout out to Ben Dean, who, on the topic of awards, is nominating Joey for Most Improved Producer this season.
No, Joey is up for Most Improved Producer. That is very
Think
very
so?
true. Very true. Absolutely. Huge improvement from year one to year two.
I mean, I feel like Joey is the Maxey of this conversation because he was already a damn good producer. I feel like Greg Braggs has taken a huge stride this year, whereas Joey had already established himself.
So
and
he's more of an
also improving.
He's more of an MVP for me.
Joey?
Most valuable
MVP?
producer.
I don't know if I'm MVP.
This is his MVP year.
But I'm trying to get first team.
Yeah, I
First
think
team all P.
You can I'm more making an argument for him. Wow. I'm more making an argument for him to be first team. I don't have an MVP yet. He's making strides for sure to be towards that MVP. But most improved, I think he's in the lead. I really do. I think he's in the lead.
All right. Bulls starting lineup tonight. No surprise here. Coby, Ayo, DeMar, AC, and Vooch. The Bulls do have a little bit of injury update news, however. Torrey Craig, we had heard rumors like, hey, maybe he's going to come back even as soon as the end of this road trip from that injury he sustained during All-Star break. He's out tonight. He was upgraded on the injury report from out to doubtful, and then yes, out, which is a step. Maybe we see in tomorrow night's game, second night of back-to-back, upgraded from doubtful to questionable, if that progression continues. I did also see a quote from Billy Donovan via Casey Johnson when Donovan spoke earlier tonight. Quote, there's some optimism he could play tomorrow.
Oh.
Torrey Craig. Potentially. Billy Donovan just doing a little dangling.
Chum.
If he plays tomorrow, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be shocked. I thought he was done for the season. I just did.
That's fair.
Like,
you know what I mean? You're just going off history.
Yes,
so I understand.
exactly.
That's fair. It's fair to feel that way. This will be the second time that he's pretty much come back early. And you know, anytime you've gotten those fluke injuries like we've seen previously, shout out Carlos Boozer, usually they're out a while. You know what I mean? When those things happen. So for him to come back twice early, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. And of course, wing depth is desperately needed for this team for sure.
Well, they said 2 to 4 weeks, and that was like at the end of All-Star break, right? So that would have been like the 21st. So it's been like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, but you know, we thinking 4. You know, I'm always thinking 4.
To me, it's like
and a reevaluation. That's what I was thinking after 2.
Usually, it's like you reevaluate in 2 to 4 weeks, and then you're back in 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 or whatever. But obviously, like, yeah, I mean, he's beating it back, and hopefully we get to see him.
Yeah.
With Patrick's, though, it's like they put edema into it, and like that was the alarm bells for me, as opposed to just like he injured his knee. Like once they put a diagnosis on, and that diagnosis sounds a little bit scary, that's when I start to like when with Lonzo. You know, it's like they can't figure out what the problem is. They can't figure out what the problem is. That's when I think you get to be a little bit more worried. But most injuries, like I just feel like the Bulls just have had some really bad luck. But most injuries do not just like randomly hold guys out for the rest of the season.
The Jazz, meanwhile, are in a tough spot with their injury report. Lauri Markkanen, dealing with a quad injury, is out tonight, so no seeing our old pal, former Bull, winner of the Most Improved Player Award last season, our pal Lauri. Walker Kessler, Texas Ranger, also out tonight, dealing with a foot. Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks, their pair of first-round picks from last year's draft class. Keontae George out with illness. Taylor Hendricks out with a toe. This is a short-handed Jazz team we're talking about here.
That's my favorite.
Otto Porter Jr. also not with team. That's what it says. I don't know where he is. Drinking some bubbly at a concert.
But of course he's on
somewhere.
the report. Like, of course he is.
Of course he is. Of course he is. So, you know, like this Jazz team, like you still got Collins, you got Clarkson, you got some pieces.
Yeah.
You got another old friend of ours, Chris Dunn.
Oh, revenge game.
Chris Dunn revenge game on deck.
On deck.
I would laugh my ass off if Chris Dunn had like a triple-double and the Jazz won tonight. But, I mean, this Jazz team, they've been kind of hovering underneath mediocre all season long. They had like I think one good stretch earlier this season, but they have lost 11 of their last 15 games. Oof. And their defense has gone from bad to, oh dear God, bad in that stretch of the past 15 games.
2 different bads.
Just a few numbers for you. Their defensive rating in the last 15, 122.4, which is dead last in the NBA, and 2 whole points worse than the 29th ranked Sixers. Yeah. Speaking of the Sixers, by the way, in the last 15 games, the Sixers have the 29th ranked defense in the NBA. Defensive four factors for Utah. Opponents' effective field goal percentage, 30th. Opponents' free throw attempt rate, 21st. Opponents' turnover percentage, so forcing turnovers, 30th. The one four factors category where they are respectable defensively is they limit their opponent's offensive rebounding. Just 27 offensive rebound percentage allowed to their opponents, which is 10th in the NBA.
But you think that not having Walker Kessler on the court might
that will be tested tonight with Andre Drummond roaming. Yes.
Because the Bulls have been able to, in certain games, crash the offensive glass, get an upper hand there. If you're looking back, it was all the way in early November when these teams played each other in their first matchup, only twice, being East versus West. In that game, like, there were so many variables that are no longer those same variables. The Bulls won confidently. They had Zach LaVine, remember him? They had Patrick Williams in that game. They had Torrey Craig in that game. The Bulls also shot 18 of 34 from three, so over 50% on a respectable volume, and scored 30 points off of 20-something Jazz turnovers. So that leads to easily understanding how the Bulls won the first matchup with this team. You got to call this a trap game, or a just go out there and win, because this team is in dire straits, and you're trying to prove that you're at least a play-in team. And the Jazz are 5 games back of that out west.
I think the second one is works better. Just go out there and win. I don't feel like it's a trap game, but of course it could turn into one, just depending on how hot they get. But I feel like it's definitely go out there and win. Go out there and beat this team. Don't play down to your competition. The Bulls have been doing that definitely all season long, playing down to that competition. Hello, Detroit Pistons. So they've definitely been doing those things. So
Connor said, didn't we score 90 against the previous worst defense in the NBA?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing that happened.
That's exactly my point
But that
here.
Pistons game was like just such a fluke outlier in terms of 3-point shooting. This team has not.
They lost twice.
They've since the All-Star break, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So we'll see what happens tonight. But I feel like for the most part, this team understands where they are in the standings. They understand where they want to get, where they're not going to explicitly admit they want to get, but where they want to get. And they know that this is like go time, and they can't really, like, if you were to make this part of the season the microcosm of like one game, this is the fourth quarter when they're down 20 and they got to dig themselves out of the hole. And they've shown they can do that at times. So
yeah, they definitely have, man. And they shouldn't get into that hole, though, in this game. Like, it shouldn't even be a case. I should be looking at Funk in the fourth quarter. That's what I hope. I don't even know if he's with the team or not. I'm just saying that's the players I should be looking at. Drell or Sonogo or whoever.
I think they are actually all playing with Windy City as we speak. So
damn it!
Won't get a chance.
Well, but Tim, looking at you, buddy.
Let's get some Batum minutes.
I need to see 6 threes up by Batum, all right? I want to see 6 of them things go up.
I was just going to say Dalen Terry is not with the team tonight due to personal reasons. So you have basically, 11 guys with the team right now? So, yeah, we'll see.
We shall see.
But 10 minutes, man. And Julian Phillips, too. You should get a lot of minutes tonight.
Play him all the minutes. Or, play Coby 46 and DeMar 44.
Oh, God.
That works,
Let Coby sleep.
No, man. He's got to go out there and make some progress in the Most Improved Player Award race.
Let's take care of business early, because tomorrow is the game. Like, let's take care of business early, man. I know this is asking a lot because it's not something they've done all season. But
what? Put teams away early?
Correct. No, not just bad teams. Teams looking to be put away. Teams like
not
pull
a
the trigger.
Not a thing.
Nah.
No, Bulls are like, hey, we're playing a bad team who we should put away. Let's go to overtime. Drew said in the comments, please no OT tonight. They freaking better not. I don't care. Andrew also said, Bulls play again tomorrow? Oh, this game's going to OT for sure. Let's hope not. Hit that like button. Thanks for hanging out with us for pregame. We will be back postgame immediately following Bulls Jazz right here from our studios here, West Loop, downtown Chicago. Make sure you subscribe to CHGO Sports YouTube channel and check out that fresh merch, the Chicago Collection, chgolocker.com. Grab yourself that Sub-Zero shirt or, like Dave's very wise brother, the Sub-Zero hoodie. Follow Will _ Gottlieb. He's the GOAT. Big Dave. Bow. BWL Sports.
Bow.
Bulls _ Peck. At Joey Spathis. We are CHGO _ Bulls. Appreciate you for tuning in. Let's watch some hoops. Chris Dunn.
Pete.
We all silly like the man.